Do you ever start, booking in a show on this game, thinking, oh, I don't really know where any of this is going to go. Let's just, figure it out as we go. And then it turns out that it actually ends up being one of the best shows you've ever booked. On a completely unrelated note, hello, and welcome to episode number 428 of the TEW 2020 Challenge Run. 429, actually, I believe. Yeah. This is going to be SmackDown for week 2 of October 2023. We are 6 days removed from No Mercy, which saw, I don't believe, any new champions crowned. Io Sky won in that main event via shenanigans. Montez Ford beat Carmelo Hayes and LA Knight to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. And the other belts went on the line. Oh no, the tag belts were technically, but yeah. John Cena and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and Florence won. So yeah. Going into tonight's show, I think the only thing we had announced was a match between Asuka and Jakara Jackson. And then on No Mercy I said that we'd see a follow-up from Swerve Scott and the rest of Hit Row. But that doesn't sound like 3 hours worth of content to me. So you're going to have to wait and see what else we've got in store tonight. And trust me, it's a doozy. Without any more further ado, let's jump straight into tonight's show. We kick things off with Queendom in the ring. Io, Cammy, Utami, Piper, Tegan. No Mio Shirai, she's not a full-time member of the group. She's just going to be like a joker in the back pocket they can whip out whenever they need something fucky to happen, I guess. And Cammy goes, well, I don't know what else to say. Those of you who thought that Dakota Kai was going to be the one to bring this queendom crumbling down, I don't know what to tell you. This queendom goes deep. The influence of the Joshi Judas, the Genius of the Sky, the woman to my right, the Women's World Champion, Io Sky, knows no limits. And when you're as well connected as she is, obviously you can make a few phone calls. Now you see, going into this business, it was never Io Sky who was supposed to make it to WWE. It was never supposed to be Io Sky who'd become the #1 women's wrestling promise on Earth. The #1 guaranteed slam dunk. The surefire thing. No, for a long time it was Io was actually paying understudy to her sister. Mio was the one, and Asuka, she'll tell you the same thing because those three were in a group together. Mio was the one who people looked at as the star. But then retirement befell poor Mio early on. So Io had to carry the legacy of her and her sister on her back. And then also later on Kairi, but we dropped that dead weight as soon as we could. And now we're on our method of paying back to Mio is to, support her endeavors as a referee. And, make sure she's always well connected with the champion. And make sure that us and the Queendom and the rest of SmackDown know who reigns on top here and who will forever reign on top here. And it's not Dakota Kai. It's not Bianca Belair. It's not Candice LeRae. It's not even Asuka. It's Io Sky. Dakota comes out. She stands on the ramp and she goes, you're talking a lot. I hear a lot. You're standing in the ring and you're saying a lot of words, but nothing really of any importance is coming out of your mouth, Cammy, because quite frankly, the only thing people want to see come out of your mouth is my foot when I force you to shut it and kick you in the jaw. You see, No Mercy. Io, she is the best wrestler in the world. That's why she has the championship. I'm not going to argue that point. Because, of course, I have always respected Io Sky for as long as I've known her, but she knew on Saturday night I had her beat. And you knew it. Hence you had a back pocket joker you could call upon, huh? You're coming out here and saying, oh, we've got Io's sister who's a referee who can fix results that go our way, huh? If you were so confident in your abilities to beat me, you wouldn't need that. But there you are, calling upon it. Because you're not confident, because Io, since she's become champion, Cammy, quite frankly, she's everything you accused Candice of being. Now I remember you stood in this ring 4 months ago now at this point, and you told Candice LeRae that you didn't think she deserved to be Women's World Champion because she so happened to be skating through all her defenses. Oh, Candice is more of a champion than Io ever will be. And if Io's not a coward, she'll put that championship on the line against me one more time. No Mio, no queendom, no Cammy, just woman to woman.
I'm on my own, against the wall. The pressure's building, but no, I will never fall. Instead of crying, they hear me roar. And now I see that
Bianca Belair's music interrupts and she goes, Dakota, Dakota, Dakota. You know, you're talking an awful lot of smack for a woman who lost at No Mercy, you see. I remember coming out here my first night on SmackDown after I lost at SummerSlam, and you were talking and all this talk saying, hey, the match at SummerSlam, that should go to somebody who won. And it wasn't me, it was you. Well, now, Dakota, you've lost. How about you listen to your own advice, move on to the back of my queue here, and let real main eventers do the talking. Dakota goes, but Bianca, you lost at No Mercy. You got disqualified. That's a defeat. You didn't win. She goes, well, girl, why don't you go tell that to Candice, okay? I'll give you a clue where she is. She's not here. She's in the nearest hospital nearby the arena where No Mercy took place, okay? Now, Io, but you'll know that this is the money match. But you'll know that you, as the Women's World Champion, me as the franchise player, we're the top 2 stars here on SmackDown, and for us two to go at it again, then that's what the people want to see.
the Empress of Tomorrow.
Asuka storms out, and she just takes the mic off Bianca, and she says, Bianca, shut up. And she turns to Io, she goes, I beat you, points at you, Tommy. And she goes, and last week, I beat you, pointing at Io. She's like, so none of you are ready for Asuka. And she goes, Asuka, the women were talking here, so why don't you, and then she turns to Bianca, she goes, your friend, we fight right now. And then everyone sort of leaves. Jakara, sheepishly has to walk out there. She's got the opening match against Asuka coming up next, but, the same 3 women sort of arguing here. No Candice, because she got taken out by Bianca, I guess. But, who we do see pulling up to the arena in some kind of car. Don't know what kind of car Swerve would drive, but it's Swerve. He swerves in it, is all I know, but I don't know what he does drive. All I know is that when he does do the action of driving, he does swerve. And also the man from No Mercy pulls up, and he starts rubbing his hands together. He goes, oh, big night, Swerve, big night tonight. And he goes, shh, save it for later. And then they both walk into the ring. Not to the ring, to the arena even. 76, whatever. I mean, I don't know why I said whatever. That's good. Jakara Jackson got a 28. Now she's had a 76 rated match. That's good. Asuka is that godly, you see. But of course, stop me if you've heard this one before. Asuka picks up the win. She beats Jakara Jackson. I'm sure you're all shocked. In 7:37 with a spin kick. 28 for Jakara Jackson and 90 for Asuka. And yeah, another big win for the Empress here tonight. As she does have a victory over both the champion and the heir apparent of Queendom. Some would say that she's next in line for a championship opportunity, but some may say it's Dakota because she got screwed at No Mercy. And even some might think it's Bianca. I don't know why, but you might. Speaking of Dakota, she's backstage with Kayla Braxton. She says, Dakota, big opening segment here tonight. You and Bianca and Asuka all seem to have, legitimate gripes at being the champion. And then she goes, legitimate? I'm not... Okay, Asuka, sure, I don't want to go on Asuka's bad side. I learned that out the hard way earlier on this year. Bianca's got legitimate gripes. Bianca's just jealous the spotlight's not on her. Okay? And yes, I did get screwed at No Mercy, and I do think I deserve another one-on-one shot with Io. But I also understand that I lost, and I'm going to have to pick up wins if I want to, repay that debt and get back into championship contention against Io. That's when Indy Hartwell, of all people, walks in. She goes, Dakota, what are you talking about? You lost at No Mercy. You lost your shot to become the Women's World Champion. I mean, Bianca Belair, she came out there and she said that, you got to move to the back of the line, but I don't really think it's to accommodate her. It's to accommodate people like me who don't get opportunities at the Women's World Championship. She goes, okay, I see you're taking exception with things I've said. And I'm looking for a fight tonight, and if you want to get into championship contention, how about by beating a former SmackDown Women's Champion, you'll get yourself in contention. I'll see you out there tonight, Indy. We then cut back. Jakara's in the doctor's room being checked up on by after the kick from Asuka by doctors. Montez Ford and Nora Mensa are in there. She goes, that damn Asuka, you got Dakota, Io, all these women. Tez, the picture around me getting this championship, it's like trying to break down walls, and they've got big dams in my way. They don't want us two being the power couple running here on things on SmackDown. Tez goes, well, things aren't so sunshine and rainbows for me as the World Heavyweight Champion either right now, because I beat my 2 challengers, but I'm sure that LA Knight, that guy, is going to think he's going to have one more shot at my championship because I just so happen to beat Carmelo Hayes. Something he's yet to do, might I add. So you know what? I'm going to go out to that ring, and I'm going to call out my next challenger, whoever it may be. And then Montez Ford and Nora Mensa leave. And then Naomi and Shantae Washington walk in. And then Bianca goes, what the hell do you girls want? And Naomi goes, I just think it's funny how, you come in here throwing your weight around, We used to be sisters, me and you. We were close. We were friends. But now really, I don't know if it's him. I don't know if it's what it is. Becoming the franchise player, getting this ego. But you've really turned into a bitch. Bianca goes, excuse me. I don't remember asking, okay? Starters, star players, MVPs, don't listen to criticisms from, bench warmers like yourself. So why don't you get on out of my room? And then Naomi smacked Bianca in the face. She says, bench warmer, huh? How about me and you one-on-one tonight and we'll see who's a bench warmer? Bianca goes, well, we will, it's you, bitch. So yeah, Bianca Belair and Naomi also for tonight. We've got, just like that, 2 more women's matches set for tonight. Naomi against Bianca Belair and Indy Hartwell against Dakota Kai. But before that, an 80 rated tag team match. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn defeat Indus Sher in 8:58. Kev pins Sanga with a stunner. 93 for Sami Zayn, 86 for Kevin Owens. 44 for Sanga and a 48 for Veer. After the match, Kevin and Sami get to the mic. And Kevin goes, when we became the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, me and Sami, our goal was to elevate this tag team division, and while we may have done that a little right now, there's still a long ways to go. Okay, let's run through it all, We got these Indian guys, beat them. French guys, beat them. Australian guys, beat them. Italian guys, beat them. Who's next? How many more guys have we got to beat for you to give us some real competition? William Regal's music hits. He goes, Now, gentlemen, I don't mean to interrupt. You know my respect for both you men goes way, way back. And I've always been a huge admirer of both of you. Which is why I come out here and I bring you news that I think I should tell you two face to face. Rather than, on social media or via some sort of announcement via Adam Pearce or through any other method like so. You see, you've been keeping a close eye on this SmackDown Tag Team division for a while now, because you are the champions and you're looking to elevate the entire division, but I've also taken a keen eye on this division. I've been sitting in the back for months, just waiting for the perfect opportunity to showcase the future of tag team wrestling. And I believe Kevin and Sammy, since you believe you've defeated everybody there is to defeat here on SmackDown, now would be a good time to make that statement. Could you see, Kevin and Sammy? I may have been a bit wrong last year with the way I went about introducing who I thought were the future of WWE, and, who can blame me? Look at who we had. The United States Champion, Pete Dunne. We had Gunther, a former World Heavyweight Champion, Miss Money in the Bank, Florence. I mean, the resume speaks for itself. But now, it's time to cross that Atlantic Ocean, and I need to broaden my horizons, not just to the greatest British professional wrestlers in the world, but just to span the greatest professional wrestlers in the world. And make no mistake about it, this is not me forming a new Regal coalition. This is simply me guiding two freak athletes who I believe to be the greatest tag team prodigies in professional wrestling. They have the potential to be the greatest tag team to ever do it. Ladies and gentlemen, you may remember them, but after a career-threatening injury, they're back, they're meaner, they're badder than ever. Please rise and give a warm welcome to the return of SmackDown's next top tag team. Brutus and Julius, the Creed brothers. Out come the Creeds. They've been gone for a year. Julius shattered his elbow on a house show. I don't know if I've ever actually mentioned this on video. If I have, I'm going to say it again now because you might have forgotten. But we haven't seen the Creeds since there was a segment. They were in their locker room and they got either a gift or like a letter or something from somebody, and they read it and they were intrigued by what it was, and then we didn't see them again. And then during their time off from that segment, Julius shattered his elbow and was out for a year. The original plan was going to have them be in the Paragon with Adam Cole and Bobby Roode. That didn't happen, so the Fritz brothers got that spot. And then I just sat there for a couple of months ago. I was like, when do these guys come back? Who do I want them to be with? Because I think they do need a manager. And I had Regal. Regal had just turned face because the Coalition beat him. Oh, well, Imperium, I guess. And I wanted to make it be like, I'm not going to make them heel because they're a babyface tag team. We love William Regal. So he just going to sort of be like their Diamond Mine, like, trainee guy. And yeah, they don't attack Kevin and Sammy. They sort of just look at them, like do the belt motions and shit, jump up and down on the spot. Kevin and Sammy nod their heads, look at each other, hold the belts up and all that shit. So yeah, the Creeds. These past 2 months where I've had this SmackDown tag division, I've been waiting for this. I had to keep mentioning, there's no proper tag teams. They've got the D'Angelo family and Chase U and all them. I knew the Creeds were there. I just purposely didn't mention them. But they're here now, and they are officially, well, technically they're not, because Julius has been able to work angles this whole time, and he is still injured for another 7 days. But, he'll be cleared next week. So, speaking of tag teams, we cut to backstage and Trick Williams is in his locker room looking upset. When Carmelo Hayes walks in, he goes, "Trick, what's eating you up, man? I don't normally see you like this." He goes, "Melo, I had him." He goes, "Was this about Pete?" He goes, "Yeah, it is about Pete. Last week was the biggest night of my career. Oh, good old Tricky Willie, we had the chance to be the United States Champion, Trick Melo gang, with the belts. But I lost. I always knew that Pete Dunne was a tricky competitor, but I thought, I'm Tricky Willie. Surely I'll be more tricky than him, don't you see?" And Melo goes, "Uh-huh." He goes, "Well, turns out I wasn't. I wasn't very Tricky Willie at all. Maybe I'm just Willie." And Melo goes, "Well, Trick, you can't say that, I don't think." He goes, "But seeing you here has brightened my day, because you're not a champion either." And Melo goes, "What you saying?" He goes, No, Melo, I don't mean it like that. I meant was, if you were the World Heavyweight Champion, part of me thinks that, you wouldn't waste your time with a guy like me. But since neither of us are champions, we can both become champions together. He goes, what you're saying, Trick? You know, we both lost. He goes, yes, we lost to becoming United States champion, lost to becoming World Heavyweight champion, Mello, but listen to this. Trick Mello Gang. SmackDown Tag Team Champions. And Mello's sort of looking off, he sort of nods his head. He's like, I see it, Trick, you know. I see us, our names up in lights, you know. Maybe even, once we click, we can both be double champs, you know. You, SmackDown Tag Team Champion and United States Champion. Me, SmackDown Tag Team Champion and World Heavyweight Champion. And Trick goes, haha, I can't wait, Mello. We're going to get that done. Trick Mello Gang's going to rule the world. Me, as SmackDown Tag Team Champion and World Heavyweight Champion. It's going to be great. Mello goes, United States Champion. Oh, yeah, sorry. My bad. Yeah, we do have tag team tonight. Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes, who was, you know, for some reason not with Trick at the start of this segment. But here we go. Hey ho. Busy man, that Carmelo Hayes. We then cut to the ring. This segment gets a 96. I'm so glad this segment got a 96. Because it's been something I've been wanting to do for months at this point. Out comes Montez Ford. With Ora Mensah probably, but I haven't put him on screen. And he goes, I told y'all, you know, No Mercy was going to be the night that finally that LA Knight idiot became World Heavyweight Champion. You see, let's look at the resume. LA Knight, who's he ever beat? He won King of the Ring. He beat Seth Rollins in the final. Okay, my nan could beat Seth Rollins right now. He beat my main man Mensah, okay? He's growing, okay? He's a puppy, and soon he'll be a big dog like Tez, like the World Heavyweight Champion. He couldn't beat Carmelo Hayes. He damn sure couldn't beat Montez Ford, the Golden Prophet. And for the most fastest rising star in WWE, I don't see all the hype. He'll come out here and he'll say his catchphrases, and the crowd will get all fired up and they'll get all excited because their favorite man has come out. And then he'll lose again. Because the L, and he puts like an L on his forehead or whatever, he goes, the L in LA Knight, you know what that stands for. Loser. Let's just start calling you Loser Ass Knight. Yeah.
The revolution is televised.
Out comes Buster Gates and the Revolution. And we get a Buster Gates Montez Ford face off. You know, money. And he takes the mic. He goes, Tez, I often, as I was breaking into this industry, a lot of people called me the Pebble. Do you know why a lot of people call me the Pebble? Tez, is because they looked at me and they went, hey, look, there's that guy. He's like a bootleg Rock. That guy's like the Rock. That guy's like the Rock he was left in the dryer. Okay, put your fanny pack on and start doing your if you smells. And at the time, I thought it was flattering to be compared to the Rock. But right now, Tez, I look at you, and I don't see myself as the Rock. I see myself as Montez Ford. No, I'm serious. But there's one big difference between being compared to The Rock and seeing myself as Montez Ford. Because Buster Gates, he is absolute. He is the revolutionary. He is the most charismatic man to step foot in these ropes. But a lot of people think that's The Rock. And if The Rock wants to get his ass back here and go toe-to-toe with Buster Gates on the microphone, I'll send his ass back to Hollywood. And then we'll know that I'm better than The Rock. But Tez, I damn sure know I'm better than you. You mentioned a name just now, Tez. You mentioned Seth Rollins. You said even your nan could beat Seth Rollins. I'm not sure that's true. See, I look at Seth's track record, and sure, it ain't great. It's terrible, in fact. He's been losing every single opportunity, you know. He's a choke artist. But let's look at the facts. LA Knight. Will Ospreay. 2 matches against the revolutionary Buster Gates. The best to ever do it would lose that run in, Tez. You'd get your ass beat, in fact. But luckily for you, you've never had a chance to run in with old Buster Gates, have you, Tez? 'Cause you know what's happening right now would happen. And that's that expose you, light your ass up, and make people see you for what you really are, and that's just Buster Gates from Temu. No, I see you, Tez, I see you're getting angry, you know. You want to punch me in the face, and I get it. I'd want to punch me in the face if I look this much better than you do anyway. But here's what we want to do. If you want to be a fighting champion, you want to... I heard you in the back, you know, hiding behind your wife because she's got her balls in your purse. I heard you talking about how the championship picture on SmackDown is not great because I've beaten LA Knight again. Do you know who you haven't beaten, Montez Ford? Me. So, if you are a man, and this is where we're going to find out if you are better than me, because I'm a man, I don't back down from a fight. In fact, I lay out the challenges. And I lay out the challenge that tonight, right here on SmackDown, in the main event, you, Montez Ford, grow a set of balls and put the World Heavyweight Championship on the line against Buster Gates. Tez, he's lost. He goes, balls, huh? You know, I've got balls. But one thing I do have that you must not have, Buster, is a brain. Okay? Because not accepting challenges from every cocky kid to walk out here and demand them, that's not being a coward, Buster. That's being smart. But luckily for you, I'm in a fighting mood tonight. So, you want a match for the World Heavyweight Championship? I'll see you in the main event. So yeah, there we go. After a fiery back and forth, Montez Ford and Buster Gates will go 1-on-1 for the World Heavyweight Championship in tonight's main event. I've wanted to do Montez Ford and Ricky Starks face to face since they were on the same show. And I'm glad to see the game realize that it would also be fire. And yeah. We then cut backstage. Kayla's with Bronson Steiner. And she says, Bronson Steiner, you know, you got a big win at No Mercy. I Quit match. Keith Lee quits WWE. Bronson goes, yeah. And I'm sorry, all of Keith Lee's 5 fans out there, you know. Those of you who haven't given up on him. That you're not going to see your favorite wrestler around much longer. Because I put him down. The only way you're going to be seeing Keith Lee now, he's going to be wrestling on videotapes. But me, I'm going to stay wrestling on Fox. I'm going to stay wrestling in the main event of WrestleMania. Because I am the most dangerous man here on SmackDown. Badass Bronson Steiner is a problem. Hey, wise guy. I couldn't help you overhearing that you're saying you're the biggest badass here on SmackDown, and Bronson Steiner, he's a problem. Well, you know who else we ain't gonna be seeing around here? That Gabagool Moss, okay? Because he thought he was the most dangerous man here on SmackDown. Where is he now? He's sleeping with the fishes. Because this big problem cast, this is the biggest problem on SmackDown. And if you keep running your mouth, wise guy, you can sleep with the fishes too. And Bronson Steiner sort of looks at the chest of Big Cass, looks up at his head, chuckles and goes, This is your big problem, right? What a joke. And he walks off. Oh! 84, go the fuck on, girls. Naomi and Bianca have an 84 rated match, and it is Bianca who picks up the win. I've realised the problem with having the quote-unquote SmackDown 6 is that a lot of the times they end up wrestling each other. So, yeah. 3 of them are wrestling other women on this show. You know, Asuka beat Chikara, Dakota beat Indy, and now Bianca's beating Naomi in 11-23. 87 for Bianca, 78 for Naomi. And yeah, banger match. Bianca picks up the win. We then see Seth Rollins pulling up to the building. He's not looking himself. You know, he's looking all stressed out. And Kayla Braxton, but she goes, Seth, you know, you're running late. What's the matter? He goes, I know I'm running late, Kayla. You know, I have an excuse, okay? I've been trying to get a hold of Jacob and Solo, you know, since No Mercy, and I've not been able to get a hold of them, Kayla. So, I'm hoping they're here tonight. I need to go find Pierce, apologize for being late. And, you know, this whole thing lately, you know, something has to change around here, Kayla. And I'm gonna fix it tonight. We then head back to the ring where Swerve Scott and Lord Bando are in the ring. And Swerve says, I'm not gonna waste any time out here. Dollar, Shanty, B, get your asses out here right now. I'll come hit row. And he goes, I don't think I need to tell y'all why I brought you out here tonight. Look around. You know exactly what you are. The shell of what used to be Hit Row knows what it is. I don't. I want you to tell me. Top Dollar, what are we? He puts the mic out to his mouth and Top Dollar doesn't say anything. He goes, silent treatment. Yeah, I'd be embarrassed too. Ashanti, what are we? Ashanti also says nothing. And he laughs. He goes, B. Puts his arm around B-Fab. Chuckling now. She sort of like just glares at him. He goes, B, what are we? And she goes, I'll tell you what we are. We're done with this crap. And Swerve's face sort of like switches to shock. She goes, Swerve, you know, Hit Row was supposed to be a brotherhood. Okay? The 4 of us doing what we love, you know, getting paid for it. But somewhere down the line you've just become a narcissistic, you know, greedy, fame-hungry piece of... Yuck! And Swerve's face just... He snatches the mic off B-Fab and he goes, a piece of what, B? What have I become? What? You're going to demonize me for what? For wanting better out of this crew? You're going to demonize me for what? Wanting to win championships? Wanting to bring glory? Okay? Why are you even here if you don't want to win, B? Huh? Because I may have been taking it harsh on Top Dollar and Ashanti, but they sure as hell do deserve it. But what have you ever done to speak to me like that, B? Huh? You remember what I did for you? Remember, you know, when you got embarrassed by Miss Money in the Bank because you thought you were going to step up to a plate that you weren't ready to step up to? And the things I did to get you another shot. The least you could show me is some respect. Not calling me whatever it was you were going to call me. And you, he turns to Top Dollar, and Top Dollar smacks the mic out of Swerve's hand. Which I imagine at this point would get a big pop. I don't mean to, you know, interject and, like, say, at this point the crowd would react like this, but I like to think what I'm doing is working and getting over with the crowd. So, at that point, Top Dollar slapping the microphone out of Swerve's hand, in my head got a big pop. Maybe it's to deafening silence in the real world, who knows? And Top Dollar takes the mic and he goes, listen here, you piece of crap. If B ain't gonna call you it, yeah, I'll call you it. This Hit Row, like B said, we're a brotherhood. But somewhere down the line, you did turn into someone we don't want to be around. We now dread coming to work. Okay? Because of you. Okay? You did this to us. Okay? And for you to take it out on her, of all people, that ain't gonna fly with me. Okay, I don't know what switched in your head when you sort of became this giant asshole, but if it ain't gonna stop, then I, Top Dollar, I'm a multi-sport athlete. I'm 6 foot, whatever, however many pounds, and I can beat your ass and break you in half if I damn well want to. And so I just laughed. There it is. There's the fire from Top Dollar I've wanted for so long, you know. You were saying who's harder than Top Dollar? Apparently not Nada, but a lotta. Because that fire was dormant. And can you not see? It's worked. I've got the sides of you all out that I've wanted for so long. This is the hit row we need. Too bad it's too little too late. Because this world knows exactly what you want now. Not me. Not Swerve. Swerve's a winner. You all three are losers. Let me see Shanky take the mic and he goes, so that's it. This is done. For what? Because of who? Because of John Cena? And Swerve at that point sort of like looks up, stares at Shanky and goes, don't you mention that man's name. This isn't because of anybody not currently in this ring. Hit row. It was nice. I'm tired of playing nice. You want to put me in the ground, Dollar, huh? You want to break me in half? You want to do all these other things that you've got no business doing? Because, quite frankly, you aren't that good. Try me. He drops the mic. He like turns his back around, arms out wide, like ready for Top Dollar to hit him from behind. And Top Dollar, he clenches his fist. Imagine he might have a brass knuckles on or something. And then he goes to hit Swerve, but like B-Fab and Ashanti like going, no, don't hit him, don't hit him, don't hit him, don't hit him. But then Top Dollar and Ashanti are jumped from behind by two men in hoods. And Swerve can just hear the sounds of them hitting them. He hasn't turned around, he's still like facing away from the beatdown. But he can just hear the sounds of Top Dollar and Ashanti getting attacked and laid out. And the two men who attack them take the hoods down to reveal they are Bronco Nima and Lucian Price, who I felt were the closest thing I had in NXT to the Gates of Agony. You know, two big guys that sort of look like they'd be a group. And Swerve still just laughing. He finally turns around. He takes off his jacket. He takes off a Hit Row shirt. He's got Mogul Embassy shirt on. Or Mogul Affiliates, even. And then Lord Bando takes the mic and he goes, oh, you done messed up now. Hit Row is dead. Welcome to the Mogul Affiliates. And they all throw up their Mogul Affiliates sign as they stand over Top Dollar and Ashanti's bodies, B-Fab in the corner, watching on, you know. I was going to say crying, but I don't think B-Fab is that good of an actress. No offense. But yeah. Hit Row dead. But, well, as we knew it, dead. And this new group, Mogul Affiliates, Swerve Scott, Bronco Nima, Lucian Price, and Lord Bando. We then cut from that, and we see LA Knight just pacing around the hallway, and he goes, wait, what? Huh? You listen here, let me talk to you. I say, I see why am I coming here? LA Knight's coming here, you know. No mercy, he's screwed yet again out of a chance to become the World Heavyweight Champion. Not because of anything I did wrong, but because Carmelo Hayes, he took another defeat to Montez Ford, something which I've yet to do. Yeah. And I come here tonight, and Buster Gates, he's jumping ahead of LA Knight, the megastar in the queue, because he thinks he's getting a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. Nah. Well, you think you're getting off scot-free by jumping ahead of LA Knight in the queue. Well, all you're doing is punching your ticket for a potential ass-whooping, because whoever wins tonight, whether it be Montez Ford, whether it be Buster, you got a one-way ticket to this gravy train, because LA Knight won't stop until he is the heavyweight champion of the world. Because whose game is it? Whose belt is it? It's LA Knight's belt. Yeah. Believe it or not, we're still not done with this fucking show. Out comes Daniel Bryan with Miles Bourne. And he gets to the mic. And he goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest professional wrestler on planet Earth has entered the ring. So you must now all take notes to do things the way that I do things. You see, at No Mercy, the young man here, Miles Bourne, he was the first of many smart young wrestlers in this business will be to seek guidance of how to become the best wrestler in the world, of how to become the next American Dragon. Because, as you've seen recently, I'm a guy who beat the best in the world at SummerSlam. I'm a guy who beat Ilya Dragunov, the Mad Dragon, who they say can't be beat unless you kill him. Well, guess what, Ilya? Those sounds of your bones snapping, the sounds of you screaming in pain, they're music to my ears. Which is why Miles Bourne here, he makes for a great protege, because a lot of wrestlers growing up in this business, they don't like to get rough. They don't like the sound of bones snapping, of limbs tearing. But Miles Bourne here, fun fact about Miles Bourne, is Miles Bourne can't hear anything. Miles Bourne, he's deaf. So, the sounds of your bones breaking, the sound of your limbs tearing, the sound of you screaming in agony as Miles Bourne rips you limb from limb, they don't mean anything to him because they mean the same as white noise. Which is why he is going to be the next Daniel Bryan. And now, we've got this man here, man who thinks he's French. Tonight, Miles, you take a seat at ringside and you watch as I break this guy and I kick his head in. 79. Oh my god, David Martin damaged his Achilles tendon. I don't know how long that's going to keep him out for. But yeah, Bryan defeats him in 8:41 by referee stoppage. I imagine it's the stomps on the head. That's the finish. He just grabs his arms, keeps stomping on his head. That's the finish. David Martin can't continue. 95 for Daniel Bryan, 74 for David. And yeah, he celebrates. Miles Bourne gets the ring and raises his arm. And yeah, Daniel Bryan, his protege, taking notes at ringside. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I really liked the line about, he's deaf, so he can't hear you screaming in pain. That's like a fucking savage bar. After the bell rings, Miles Bourne raises his arm, like I just said, and Bryan, I imagine, continues the stomps on the head of David Martin. Edris, Malik, and Violet get into the ring and they try and break up the fight. And Bryan does drop. He leaves David Martin and Violet. Idris and Malik are looking after him. And then Miles Bourne goes to leave and Bryan goes, "Hey," points at Malik and goes, "Get him." And then Miles Bourne jumps on Malik Blade, starts attacking him. Sorry, Blade. And then Idris tries to fight him off. Bryan takes him down as well. And then all the Frenchmen are left laying as Violet looks on in pain. We then see Seth paced around his locker and goes, come on. Jacob had 2 books. He goes, "Oh, Jacob, you're here." He goes, "Listen, I have a lie I need to get off my chest. So later on tonight, I want you to find your cousin, and we'll see you both out in the ring." And Jacob just shrugs his shoulders and just walks out. 76, I would take that a lot, yes. Dakota and Indy goes 14 minutes and 6 seconds. And again, Indy Hartwell puts up a decent effort, but it is Dakota Kai who wins in 14 minutes and 6 seconds with a scorpion kick. 80 for Dakota Kai, 66 for Indy Hartwell. And yeah, another good showing. The entire premise of all of these matches tonight was to get Asuka, Dakota, and Bianca, those specific 3 women, wins, but also to have other women look alright. Because I want to build up other potential opponents for people outside of the SmackDown 6. But also those 3, count them, 1, 2, 3 women, all picking up wins tonight. We then see William Regal backstage with the Creeds, and Kayla goes, Julius Brutus, you know, it's been a year since we saw you on SmackDown. You know, since you've been gone, a lot has changed, you know. Now you're with William Regal. He goes, yes, Kayla. Like I said earlier on tonight, this is no disrespect from me. I know I was very, very disrespectful during my last run, and I've done the best, even as a villain in me. I am still a villain at heart, and while I still did get a sick kick out of that, that's not the way I want to bring these fine gentlemen into the business. So next week, Julius and Brutus, they will make their in-ring return to SmackDown, where they will hopefully leave a statement on Mr. Kevin Owens and Mr. Sami Zayn. Regal, he then walks off, and like he walks past Adam Pearce's office, and we can just hear scream, like inaudible screaming, and one of them is in Japanese, and he goes, Christ, what is all that ruckus in there, Kayla? And she goes, I don't know. And then we cut across, the camera pans to a scene from inside Adam Pearce's office where Io and Cammy are screaming at Pearce, and he goes, enough! Yes, I said what I said. If you don't like it, too bad, because I run things around here, not you. As much as you may think the Queendom run things around here, I do. And then Cammy goes, but what you're saying is, you know, these three women, the Genius of the Sky, the Joshi Judas, the Women's World Champion, she's beaten them all. Okay. And you want the fans to pick who they think deserves the opportunity next? None of them. And Adam Pearce goes, well, it's a good thing you're not running things around here, because you'd have a lot of pissed off wrestlers on your roster. Asuka defeated Io Sky last week here on SmackDown, defeated another member of Queendom in Utami at No Mercy. Dakota Kai screwed out of a championship opportunity because of you and your sick, twisted games. And Bianca's been very impressive since she got here on SmackDown. So, you want to know who Io's fighting at No Mercy? The power, for once, on this show, is not in my hands. The power is in the hands of the Connell TEW universe. Or if they want to see Asuka, or Dakota Kai, or Bianca Belair challenge Io Sky for the Women's World Championship. And that match will be inside a steel cage. It is official. Vote now on the community tab. $80 rated match. Trig and Mello win their first match as a tag team. Well, not first match as a tag team, because they've teamed up before. But here, their first match since declaring for the tag team championships, I should say. They defeat Aussie Open in 13 minutes and 2 seconds. Tricky pins Kyle and Rogers with that trick kick. 82 for Carmelo Hayes, 84 for Trick Williams, 66 for Kyle and Rogers, and a 65 for Brad Sawyer. Next week, SmackDown's pretty decently sized, and I don't mean that, you know, figuratively, I mean that literally. Because you've got Bronson Steiner, the badass as he calls himself, taking on big problem Cass of the D'Angelo family. And we heard earlier on from William Regal that after their return tonight, Julius and Brutus will make their in-ring return to SmackDown on next week's episode of the show. Plus, it's the return of the 16-time World Champion John Cena. Who knows what he's got to say after his win at No Mercy, and, you know, what we saw earlier on tonight from Swerve Scott and Hit Row and all that, because he's been very involved in that scene recently. Then moving on to Cyber Sunday in 3 weeks, we have learnt the Women's World Championship will be up for grabs. The champion, the Joshi Judas, the Genius of the Sky, Io Sky, will defend the championship against one of 3 women. It will either be Dakota Kai, Asuka, or Bianca Belair, and that match will be inside a steel cage to limit, you know, any interferences from Cammy and Queendom and crooked referees who are blood related to the champion. 79. Okay, I didn't expect the match to do that good, but I just wanted to do the match because I know I said during the Seth Rollins feud that I didn't want to turn either the Revolution or Seth face. That's actually a lie. I'm actually going to be leaning towards Ricky Starks being a babyface going forward, because I felt SmackDown needed it. Because SmackDown is very heel heavy. SmackDown's got Montez Ford, Daniel Bryan, Bronson Steiner, Swerve, and I think there's a couple more that I'm missing. Carmelo Hayes. Well, on the babyface side, it was really just LA Knight, Ilya Dragunov. And then, on the tag team side, Kevin and Sami Zayn. How could I forget Seth's also on the heel side as well? So yeah, I felt a flip was needed. There's more room for Buster to grow as a babyface on this brand, especially now Keith Lee's gone. So yeah, I felt the flip was necessary. And yeah, he's now a babyface. And I don't know if this is a hot take. Kind of prefer Ricky Starks as babyface. I mean, he's one of those guys that, like, you debut as a heel because that's his natural role. But, like, once he gets over as a heel and you turn him face, then he's just a good babyface. But yes, Montez Ford does cheat to beat him, solidifying his good guy status amongst the fans. And they hate Seth Rollins, and he beat Seth Rollins, so yeah. I imagine their hatred for Seth Rollins stems higher than their hatred of Buster Gates. But speak of the devil. Out comes Seth Rollins. And he goes, ladies and gentlemen, normally I'm coming out here and I'm full of fire. I'm dancing down to the ring, but tonight's not that night. Tonight, I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest. At No Mercy, I was supposed to beat Revolution. And don't get me wrong, seeing Buster lose right now is sweet, sweet karma. He's parading himself around like a visionary. But I'm the visionary. I'm Mr. Friday Night. So Jacob, Solo, get yourself out here right now. Out comes Judge Jacob Fatu. Seth goes, Jacob, it's nice, I saw you well on tonight, but where's Solo? Jacob goes, I don't know where Solo is, man. And he goes, huh. Well, it's weird to not have both of you out here right now, but I'm hoping Solo somewhere is watching and he can get the message. Boys, I apologize. Recently, Seth freaking Rollins has been a big freaking loser. And that's not me. That's not what I'm all about. I'm all about stomping heads and winning by any means necessary. And you and Solo, you've been dominating anything you step into. It's just me who hasn't been. But I am the best freaking wrestler in the world. I'm the best to ever do this. I'm the best on this microphone. I'm the best in this ring. Hell, I'm even the best at commentary. So, this is not all doom and gloom for Seth freaking Rollins and the Samoan monsters. This is just the beginning. Because I found what I needed. I found my swagger and Buster or LA Knight or Will Ospreay or whoever wants to get in my way. I dare you to come try. Out comes Solo. And he walks on like a Solo, you're here. You see, you were waiting, weren't you? You were waiting for Seth freaking Rollins to give that pep talk, to rally the troops. You are ready for ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. And I come to you tonight not as the general manager of ECW, not as the wise man for your tribal chief, future ECW champion Roman Reigns, a man who you, Seth Rollins, know very, very well. You see, the last time Paul Heyman took a microphone here on SmackDown, it was ahead of Judgment Day. It was 5 months ago, where you, three men banished the bloodline to ECW, and on that night, Jey Uso, he let everybody down. But Seth, times, they are a-changing, and the bloodline over on ECW, thanks to you, your little dream of tearing apart the bloodline, it's backfired on you, because they were about to capture all the gold when the Usos become ECW Tag Team Champions, and your tribal chief dethrones Dolph Ziggler to become ECW Champion. And to that I ask, Seth Rollins, what brings me to SmackDown is you. You see, you, make no question about it, got the upper hand over your tribal chief, and you'll never have to deal with him again. Trust me on that, I'm a man of my word. We're doing just fine on ECW without you. You will not see your tribal chief on SmackDown. But I may be a wise man for the bloodline. I may be ECW's general manager, but I'm also an advocate. And being an advocate gives me my advocate's license. And my advocate's license gives me free reign to appear not just on ECW, but also on Raw, also on NXT, and also on, you guessed it, SmackDown. Now, Seth, the only person who should be apologizing is you, but not to yourself. No. You need to be apologizing to Solo. You see, Solo, growing up, everything you said about Solo Sikoa, the street champion, was true. He grew up resenting his family, who abandoned him to die in Samoa, whilst they became big stars in WWE. But Solo, he then made it to the mountaintop, and he wanted to join up with his cousins and his brothers in the bloodline. But why did he not do that, Seth freaking Rollins? I'll tell you why. He did not do that because of Roman Reigns, or because of Jacob Fatu, or even because of the Usos. You poisoned Solo's brain. You convinced Solo Sikoa, the street champion, that he was better off abandoning the bloodline to side with this. And now, look who's the one groveling in defeat in the middle of the ring. It's not Solo Sikoa, and it damn sure ain't my tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Let's take you back. Seth Rollins, you were beaten by Buster Gates. Jacob Fatu was beaten by Nebo Bonds. But Solo stayed winning. Solo has been winning against your better judgment. So now I think it's time for Solo to come home. Solo sort of looks at Seth, looks at Heyman. Seth goes, what's he talking about, Solo? Come on. Where have you been? Why is he here? Why have you even brought him here with you? Huh? Come on, we're a family. Seth hugs Jacob Fatu. He goes to group hug Solo. Solo walks in, he takes the group hug. Seth goes, ha 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 ha. And Solo sort of looks back at Heyman, sneers at him. And Heyman's face, he looks shocked that Solo's chosen Seth. And then he turns that face of shock into that evil Paul Heyman gremlin grin. And Solo sticks the thumb in the throat of Seth Rollins. Jacob Fatu backs away in shock. He doesn't want to fight Solo. But Solo just stuck the thumb in the throat of Seth. He then sticks 3 more in the throat of Seth Rollins, leaving him laying. And Solo leaves through he doesn't leave with Heyman. Specific point, he doesn't leave with Paul Heyman. He leaves through the crowd. But Heyman, I guess, came to SmackDown to stir shit up. And boy did he. So ends our hour-long episode of SmackDown, which gets us an 89. This show was better than an 89 in my mind. This ended up being one of the most eventful SmackDowns I've ever done. But what matters more is what you thought of the show, more than even what I thought. And I'll see you on the flip side for Velocity, where I don't think there's any big title matches announced for this show. Heat kicks off with the Drew Gulak trio in the ring. And yeah, they're talking about, Dante versus upcoming title shot. It's going to be at Halloween Havoc against Young Sensei. So Dante Rios is going to get his first taste of, Raw main roster spotlight on that show. That TV special, Halloween Havoc, in 2 weeks' time. He then has a quick match with Nathan Fraser. He does beat him in 12-15. That's actually a big win for him. That's a main roster guy that he's just beaten in a 69-rated match. 81 for Nathan Fraser, 69 for Dante Rios. They've got great chemistry, and apparently there was a lack of psychology, which, yay. Even though I scripted the match, yay. We think an 81 rated 6-man tag. It is the Cruiserweight Trio's champions, being Death from Above's Pistolero, Lince Dorado, and Grand Metalik, defeating the Aussie trio of Kylan Rogers and the Velocities. He can't team with Brad Sawyer because he's very much not a cruiserweight. So instead, he's going to team with these two. In a losing effort, Metalik does pin Jude London with a Metalik driver. 92 for Pistolero, 83 for Lince, 91 for Grand Metalik, 57 for Kylan Rogers, 56 for Paris de Silva, and a 52 for Jude London. Then after the match, Death from Above are celebrating when out come Conan and LA Extreme. Dominic, Jorge, Rouge, and Santos. And Conan says, I've never seen a reign last so long and leave such little impact. Pistolero, Lince, Grand Metalik, 3 guys I'd love to have in LA Extreme, toiling away with these Cruiserweight Trios Championship under your leadership, Cynthia Crespo. Well, you're not looking to hold those championships for much longer because you're looking at the next Trios champions, that being Jorge Santana, Rouge, and Santos Escobar. Then our main event will be Jorge Santana in action against Kyle O'Reilly in an 81, because I knew Kyle O'Reilly would get a banger out of him because he's a god. Jorge does win, though, in 14 minutes and 50 by pinfall. 65 for Jorge Santana, 90 for Kyle O'Reilly. And that ends a very, quick but decently eventful episode of Velocity, which gets us a 79. What matters more is what you thought of the show, so let me know what you thought in the comments below. I'll see you next time for episode 429, which will be the Mae Young Classic final. It will feature the final A and B block matches, as well as the A block and B block finals, and the grand final, as well as, potentially any other matches I decide to sprinkle in to, give people breaks and not burn out the crowd of too much Mae Young Classic matches all at once. See you then.